Hello and welcome again to another episode of Guy Who Likes to Say Stuff. Welcome to 2018, it's a new year. It's been a while since my last video. Today I have a special video talking about my top 100 favorite movies of all time. I made a list, wrote it down on my computer in October about my top 100 favorite movies, and as soon as I was done I looked it over. I didn't really like it, so I waited and I said, I'm a big Pixar fan, so I'm going to wait for Coco to come out and I'm going to see that. I'm going to see Cars 3 because I hadn't seen Cars 3 yet, and of course we have Star Wars The Last Jedi. I said I like Star Wars, so I'm going to watch that Star Wars movie, and then after that I'm going to go back and redo the list. And I looked at all those, and then I rewatched old movies that I hadn't seen in a while. I saw new movies, and I changed things around, got rid of put some things off the list that wasn't there before, or that was there and now not, put things on the list that weren't there before, and I plan to put my old list, and we'll put it down in the description below, and so you can compare it to this list. This is the second list updated as soon as I saw The Last Jedi. As soon as I got home, one of the first things I did was go back and make my second list. So this list is of 12/21/2017. It's a new list. This will be just part 1, number 100 through 76, so it's in quarters. I started my top 25 favorite movies when I was much younger. And I added to it till I got to 100, and then I made it final. Pre-warning, I will spoil things, so I'll do spoiler alerts before I say them, but there may be spoilers. I've of course ranked other things, Harry Potter and Pixar. There will be Pixar and Harry Potter in this list. They will be in the same order that I have them, that I said in those videos. There will not be anime because I haven't seen any full-length anime movies, and that's because anime is just not my thing. I'm not really into anime, so that's my reason. It's just when I watch anime, it just looks weird to me. I know a lot of people really love anime. It's not my thing. If you like it, good for you. But it's not my thing. There's going to be a lot of really classic, great movies that aren't in the list because I haven't seen them. Godfather, I haven't seen it all the way through. I think I've seen part of it once, but I was young. I didn't really get it, so I haven't seen it. I hope to see it all the way through someday, but as of this day, I haven't seen it. And certainly when I made this list, I hadn't seen it, and hopefully I'll see that one day. So don't expect The Godfather on the list because I haven't seen it, so how can I tell if it's good or bad? Right. I've heard good things about it, so I do plan on seeing it. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of old classics that aren't going to be on this list. I've seen a lot of top 100 favorite movies that have a lot of old classics, and there's not a lot of old classics that I've seen. I've seen a few. They're alright. But if I haven't seen it, it can't be in the list. Of course, you guys aren't going to agree. It's the top 100 favorite movies. It's more likely that you will be struck by lightning twice and attacked by a bear in one day than it is to win the lottery. And I'd say it's more likely that I'm going to win the lottery and those other 3 things than it is for someone to agree with my list. Because we all have different opinions, and even if we rank things the same, it's going to be for different reasons. And that's what makes this world so fascinating, right? It's very fascinating. So, without further ado, I'm going to start with my number 100. Number 100, Ice Age Collision Course. It may sound like a childish movie to you, but I really love Ice Age, and I really love the characters in it. This movie is totally ridiculous and crazy and cartoony, and that's kind of one thing I like about it. We get Buck again. He's a character, the Weasel. I absolutely love him. Simon Pegg does a really good job voicing him, bringing his character to life. If I could be anyone apart from myself, I think I'd be Buck. He just lives in a really cool world, and so that's one big reason why I like this movie. I also like the scratch scenes. Number 99, Bug's Life. Second Pixar movie ever made. I saw it when I was a little kid a lot. I owned the VHS. I've always liked watching Bug's Life. It's just a fun story. Getting great characters based off the ant and the grasshopper. I didn't even realize it was Kevin Spacey voicing Hopper, but yeah, he does a good job. Certainly a scary villain if you are an ant. Number 98. Here's one you may not have heard of. The Unbearable Lightness of Being. Now, this is a movie. It's in 2 parts. My rule for part is, if it says in the title, Part 1, Part 2, I consider that one movie. If the original and the sequel, if it doesn't actually say Part 2, or Part 1, Part 2, I consider them separate movies. But since this is Part 1, Part 2, I consider them one movie. Part 1, I'd say, is slightly better than Part 2. This movie is set, I think, maybe the Cold War? I'll have to look it up. I didn't realize it when I watched it the first time, but I believe it stars Daniel Day-Lewis. The opening scene, he's like a doctor, and he lives in Prague, and also they go to Switzerland a lot, and I love Switzerland because that's where my family's from. So, number 97, Inception. A really interesting way to look at dreams, going into dream world and the rules. 5 minutes in sleep is an hour in dream. So spoiler alert, in the last like half hour or so in the movie, we have the guy falling off the bridge, which is in the next dream. Like a couple minutes for the next guy, which is like an hour or so for the next person, and then it gets like reduced, or maybe only like 20 minutes when that happens. I'm not sure, something like that. Anyway, so that's like interesting with the beats there. We got like the clock is ticking. Leonardo DiCaprio does a great performance. The girl character, I can't remember the actress, did a good job, and she was a really interesting character. There were some great action scenes, and I like the world of the dream, where you gotta have an architect and who makes the dream, and you have one person whose dream you're in. Weird things. Okay, number 96, The Spy Who Loved Me. It's Roger Moore's third performance as James Bond. He is kind of wooden, and so is the main lead in the movie, but that's alright, because we got a great villain. Jaws, performed by Richard Kiel. Unfortunately, he passed away, but he did a really good job in that role. Great villain. The teeth, his height, he's like a 7-foot tall guy. And then there's he's just like a henchman, and there's a main villain who wants an underwater city, which is really cool. We get an underwater car, and we got some great Bond moments. Number 95, another Bond movie, The World Is Not Enough, starring Pierce Brosnan as Bond. For some reason, people don't like this Bond as much. Not exactly sure why. The villain is great. Robbie Coltrane. It's the last viewing of Old Q before he dies, unfortunately, the actor. We got a bomb scene. We got a cool car. We got all kinds of great action scenes. There's some scenes in the water. It's a great action movie, and with a good song. The Spy Who Loved Me also has a good song. Nobody does it better. Carly Simon, I think, is her name, but I'm not positive. Number 94, Amelie. It's an old French movie. Quirky girl falls in love with a quirky guy. I actually got to go to Paris. I was looking for another set to a movie, and we accidentally ran to this place, which is really cool. We get to go. The audience grows up or follows the story of this little girl, and we learn about her and how quirky she is. He's obsessed with this little goldfish at the beginning of the movie, and it's really funny. Number 93, The Emperor's New Groove. There's some really quirky, fun scenes in this movie. You got Pacha swinging in on the vine, save the Emperor from some jaguars, wrapped around the log, fall into the river, go down some rapids and off a waterfall. It's just, you keep going on this adventure, and then we have later in a scene where they get down this ravine, and there's caiman come up, and there's crocodilians. They try to get them. That's a goofy scene. And then Kronk and the guy who voices him does a really good job. And there's animals, so it's a fun time. Number 92 is an oldie but a goodie. That's a Western. We got Silverado. Jeff Goldblum's in it. He does a good job. Kevin Kline's in it. I think there's a lot of guns and a lot of horses. Guns and horses, Western. It's fun. Number 91. Monsters, Inc. Cute and cuddly. Great creative story. Billy Crystal, John Goodman, and Steve Buscemi do a good job voicing, and it's a fun story. One of Pixar's funnier movies. You could argue that's the funniest. I'm not going to, but it certainly is funny. Number 90, The Jungle Book. I used to like watching this when I was a kid. My neighbor used to own it, and I would try and borrow it from him all the time. And that leads us, and we got great animals, and their little story, hanging out in the jungle. That leads us right to the next one. Number 89, Robin Hood. Again, a foresting setting, animals, could have been people. Disney, a good Disney movie for me. We got the first scene, we're introduced to Robin and Little John. We get the middle scene where they have the archery tournament, and the end of the act where we have the jailbreak. So a good 3 parts. Number 88, The Adventures of Tintin, The Secret of the Unicorn. It's kind of a cross between Red Rackham's Treasure, that's going to be the next one. A cross between The Secret of the Unicorn and The Crab with Golden Claws. It's awesome. I've always liked Tintin, the comic books. They have like a short, like 30-minute episode. It's a like TV cartoon show. the Tintins. I like those. I'm glad they made this movie. I guess they could have done live action, but I guess, I mean, Andy great didn't have to. I guess. Steve Serkis does a good job. Did like Captain Haddock. I really like Captain Haddock. Two favorite characters. I almost get a little much time, but right. A good Thompson photography, all done. You get one cinematography adventures. Finally, this is mean funness. Number 87 of Pirates, and then we have Chess. Like the Caribbean, Islands, Caribbean like this. I've always liked. I don't Pirates of the Caribbean much. Again, the other one, this one I like it like as mess. There's some in the ones as well, nonetheless, and I like to Kraken. It's done. Like the can number 80. Clyde chance of me. Number 86. This came at the same time. Ball up it. I'm out, but not sure if I timed up. I wasn't up. I like this better. But I still like better. There's food, but Flint. This one are food and Sam. Great couple. Those two cool. There's I like character. It's off a short book, and it's based a little movie. Things have to it longer. Give him more add backstory to this town. Number 35, Tom, Jeremy, Sherlock. Number 8, I've always loved Tom. I still do. Always seen this Jeremy old when I was a little kid. I bet I would be much higher on top 100 list. It's interesting to see Tom Jerry in this setting. There's one great scene. They're trapped in Oregon, like with piano at church, but the pipes and whatnot. They trapped in there, and Droopy and Butch are police officers, and they're playing on the organ and going through the pipes and whatnot. It's hilarious. I like this movie. Great setting. There's many times where Tom and Jerry fail to defeat the villain, and that's just an interesting little thought there. Number 84, How to Train Your Dragon. I really love dinosaurs. Pretty much the next big thing is dragons. I probably would like dragons better if I wasn't so sciencey. And you get to train them and learn about them. And I've listened on audiobook to part of the book, and it was good. So, I'm not super big on the characters. I think DreamWorks is a pretty good studio, and they do a good job. Number 83, Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope. This is a good movie. It introduces us to Tatooine, which we get a lot of. I think we get a little too much Tatooine in the series as a whole, and then in The Force Awakens, of course, we get Jakku, which is basically just Tatooine again. It's very similar in feeling, but the time we spend on Tatooine, this movie is good. The reason this isn't higher is just I find it kind of boring, but other than that, it's a good time. Number 82, Jurassic World. The acting is a little stale on this one, but that's not why I watch Jurassic movies. I mean, it's cheesy as always. When I watch these Jurassic movies, I'm not looking for the acting. I mean, Chris Pratt did a good job, and that was great and all, but I was looking for the chasing, the destruction, and the action, and I got that. It was a fun time. We got a good combination of CG and animatronics, and we were on the old island. We got a few new things. We got Mosasaur, which is a marine reptile. It was great because dinosaurs lived with all kinds of other creatures. We got pterosaurs, which we were introduced to in the previous installment, Jurassic Park 3, that was specifically trained on. We also get Dimorphodon, And then of course we got the mosasaur, a marine reptile, so that was really cool. And our first hybrid. I'm very much looking forward to Fallen Kingdom, so that should be fun. Number 81 is The Temptations, or at least that's what I believe the movie's called. And it's technically like a TV series, but it's only 2 episodes. I mean, they're kind of long. They're like back to back. It's kind of like a documentary about the Temptations, except it's in movie, so it's not like interviews and stuff. I like Temptations, I like their music, and I think this was well done. That's why it's on the list. Number 80, Around the World in 80 Days. Couldn't resist. It's a good movie. It's the old version, not the 2004 one with Jackie Chan and I think like some other guy. I don't remember who. The old one was basically they took the book written by Jules Verne, who I love. He's like my favorite author, and they just made it into a movie, which is perfect. It's like not a overly wild adventure. It was just like a travel. I love traveling, and we had great characters, and Passepartout was very well done, very much, and like the book. All the characters from the book were the way they were in the movie, and which is good for me, fine with me. You might argue that, say, it's too much like the book, which is like, I guess so. I mean, that might be one fault, maybe too much like the book. But if the book is good, then why not just follow it, right? Number 79, The Avengers. The Avengers is a very fun Marvel movie. We got the Hulk, he had one scary moment for me in banner form near the beginning of the movie. He went, and then, like, he yelled something I can't remember. He like shouted and he's like, ah! And that freaked me out. Other than that, he wasn't too scary. I came into the beginning of the movie late. I wasn't sure what I was watching. I thought maybe we went to the wrong theater, because we saw this little girl walking through this village. It was like, what's going on? And then we kick in. We get the Avengers. In the middle of the movie, we get that fight up in the sky. Our heroes kind of they lose there. They don't do very well. And in the end, they come together. We have Loki, who's from Thor. We thought he was dead. He's back. He's mysterious. You're like, is he good? He's bad. Turns out to be bad. He's the main villain. We learn more about each Avenger. We still don't know that much about Hawkeye or Black Widow, but luckily we have other movies to learn more about them. And they're badasses. Alright. Number 78, The Full Monty. Now, a lot of people may not have heard of this, or if you have, maybe you heard of the musical. The music in that musical is not like the music that's in the movie. The Full Monty, let's put the pretty short, it's about male strippers. But they're British, so the accents are hilarious, of course. Americans are so easily entertained by that, it's ridiculous. But I mean, that male strippers, it may sound bad, but it's so funny. They get these guys together, they will like want to pull us off, and there's like an old guy, and there's a guy who's embarrassed that he's like too fat or whatever. And the main characters he really loves his kid, but he's divorced, and there's those kind of issues. It's super funny, and we got interesting characters, and the music in there is stuff like hot stuff and rock and roll part 2. So, and Yeah, so it's fun. But there's swearing, so be careful. Number 77, The Big Lebowski. Oh my goodness. John Goodman, Jeff Bridges, Steve Buscemi. The wonderful job performing. Obviously, we already had John Goodman and Steve Buscemi in Monsters, Inc. Holy cow. Jeff Bridges is doing a comedic role. And it's about bowling and this weird situation that they're in. Oh my goodness. If you have not seen this, it's so good. My dad loves this movie. The introduction in the beginning is great. Again, swearing and drinking, all that, but there's plenty of movies like that, so no need to worry there. Let's see. Oh, there's some great dream sequences. Oh my goodness. This movie, like this guy is he's just like a nobody. He's the dude, right? Narrator. What's his name? Sam somebody. I can't remember his name. The cowboy. And this dude, he's just like nobody. He's the cool guy from LA. And he's just chilling out, and then this thing happens because of a name mix-up. He's rug pissed on. It's hilarious. Number 76, last one for this part 1. We have Finding Nemo. One of Pixar's better movies. Great father story. We got Ellen DeGeneres as Dory. She does a really good job as the kind of the sidekick character. Then we got the Tank Gang, which help Nemo, who has his fin that's problematic. I forgot about that after I first watched it. Like, I mean, I like this movie because it's just a fun adventure you go on. And then when I got a little older, I got to 12, and I went to a summer camp. I was like, man, is it weird to like this movie? It seems like it's for kids. But no, adults love this too. A lot of teenagers love it. Parents will love it, for the most part. Good characters. I like how everything, like, the adventure goes. One thing that Dory and Marlin, they got their troubles go from one thing to each trouble goes from one to the next. Immediately, boom, 3 sharks. They're friendly. We get a problem with the blood. Then boom, and then we Tank Gang. Then we go back to anglerfish. Tank Gang, come back. We're finding the fish who give the directions. Go up. Sea jellies. Tank Gang, come back. Turtles, and then Tank Gang, come back. Whale, and then it's like, and then from the turtles on, let's crush the sea turtle. It was like, you're almost there. You're almost at Sydney. It's like, we're almost at the movie, right? Then the whale gets us to Sydney. You're like, we're almost there. And then Nigel, he helps out, and he's like, he's right there. And then he thinks his son is dead, and he's doing the trick to get away from Darla. And then they're separate. You're like, no, this can't be. And then, of course, they reunite and everything. Nigel still thinks Nemo is dead. Hopefully the Tank Gang tell him what actually happened. It's like, they find each other again. They have a happy ending. It's like, word gets around. Like, we never actually get to see, like, Nigel, who was so helpful, find out that everything turned out right. So that, to me, I was like, that's kind of sad. I don't cry in movies. I don't. Understand why? It's not that I don't think things are sad. I do think things are sad, but I just don't. There's like one scene in my favorite in one episode of my favorite TV show, to which I cry every single time, but I don't cry in anything else. It's really weird, but I mean, it's not super weird. But, if I were to cry in any movie, this would be on there. I mean, right at the front, it's like gut punch, boom. Oh look, he's like Coral and Marlin and their happy little family. Oh nope, Coral's dead, and to the kids. Barracuda. Like, oh, and then they try so hard to get there, and then they like separate like a few different times towards the end. Like, oh, there they are, they're all three. Oh, Marlin thinks he's dead, and then he's gone, and then he's with then Nemo's with Dory, and then Dory, and because Marlin went away from Dory, and then Dory is with Nemo for a little while, and then she gets captured in the net, and then Marlin and spoilers, they get away, happy ending, right? Oh. So it's like this is like you're watching and you're like, oh, will they ever get together? Like, my goodness, they're going back and forth, they're missing each other just by that much. Like, oh, it's so intense. So that's my 76. I will come back with 75 through 51 some other time. And then we'll explore some more in the next 25. So that's 1/4 done. And let's see what you think. Comment down below. And yeah, I'll see you next time. What do you think? What's your top 100? Okay. That's all, and bye.